Please check me.
Man, the spirit.
Honestly, because I was just going to say that a lot of guys bring this situation on themselves. Like, you see a girl, and no offense, you can already tell that her lifestyle and the kind of things that she does, she's spending money on designer bags, Brazilian weaves. You can tell already that you are not in her tax bracket. Why are you going to talk to her? Why are you asking her to be your girlfriend? Like,
let me tell you something. Let me jump in.
Yes.
All of this depends on this one fact.
What?
She likes you.
When a lady likes you, my brother, she can walk 20 kilometers with you and she wouldn't even realize the time is gone. Forget all this.
I don't like long distance relationships. Relationships are already difficult and complicated.
True.
Adding in time difference.
Most Nigerian men in Kenya are not viewed with a favorable light.
Why?
Explain.
Why,
because we usually have good reputation everywhere.
Hey, wait.
No.
This is Young and Abroad. Oh shit. Let's go.
Hi, my darlings. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Young and Abroad. I am so excited for this one. I'm sure you guys can already see that I have two very handsome young men here with me today.
Glory to God.
If you're new on this podcast, we talk all things, life as an immigrant, what it's like living abroad and, just navigating a foreign land. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about something very juicy, something very, very spicy. We're going to be talking about what it's like dating in Canada versus dating in our home countries. So we're going to be going into the meat of like the differences and what it's like. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you can see I have two guests here and I'm going to allow them introduce themselves. So Goody, will you start?
So thanks. Happy to be here. This is a, vibrant topic. Hi, my name is Goody. I'm Nigerian, but born and raised in Kenya, and then I immigrated to Canada about 8 years ago. So,
nice.
there's a lot of differences, I would say, and things. I'm hoping to dive into this topic.
Yeah, okay.
And Emeka.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Emeka. I was born in Nigeria, schooled in the UK.
Really?
Actually, yeah. And then I came to Canada in 2022. So almost 3 years, but 2 years plus basically here in Canada.
Was your undergrad in the UK or?
Oh yeah, that was my undergrad.
Okay.
Then I did my master's back home in Nigeria again.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
This is news to me, sorry, because we all know each other, we're friends. I can say we're friends, so I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people don't know. I don't have accents, that's why.
Honestly.
If I had the accents by now, you'd have figured, but yeah.
Can you turn it on? Can you give us some?
No.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have
I was too
God.
set in my ways as a guy in terms of the way I speak that when I went to the UK, I wasn't able to form, or I won't call it forming, but change my accent for anyone because people understood me when I spoke, so I never felt the need to do
code switch.
Yes, code switch.
That's really good. I like that. I guess we can get started. We can get into it. My first question for you guys is, so in one sentence or a few, how would you describe dating in your home country, and then also give your description of dating in Canada? Emeka, you can start.
Depends. Do you understand?
Well, this question is tough, but I'll say the main thing in Nigeria is that when you're dating someone, for the most part, you know that you guys have similar backgrounds, similar experiences.
Yeah.
But when you're not every black person you see in Canada is Nigerian, one. And even if they are Nigerian, like my brother here, they might have grown up somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And with that comes different expectations, different ways of seeing things, and if you are dating someone here, oh my God, I was about to mention talking stage. But if you are dating someone here, you will start to see some things that are culturally appropriate here being brought up in those settings, and you'd have to either get on board with the program or run back to dating your tried and trusted.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference that I can think of right now. But basically, for me, I prefer to date people from Nigerian background.
Okay, you've actually answered one of my other questions.
Okay.
Let's put a pause, a pin in that. We're gonna get back to that. But yeah, Goody, like, what's the difference between like dating in Kenya and here?
Similar to like the backgrounds and everything, but it's funny because I'm kind of a mixed in terms of I'm fully Nigerian, but like grew up in Kenya.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because you don't meet a lot of Nigerians like that in Kenya. So
really?
At the time, not that much, and even most Nigerian men in Kenya are not viewed with a favorable light.
Why?
Explain
Why,
it, because
please?
we usually have good reputation everywhere. Like,
That's a stretch.
I can tell you this for a fact.
Nigerian men have good reputation everywhere.
All them nice.
No, we are great.
Nigerian men are top shelf. We are.
Oh yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah.
I won't argue.
But yeah.
Tried and trusted. You can go out there, find out.
But yeah. So what I was saying is like there's differences immediately there. Like there's differences in terms of what the practices, culture, like bring like the values, everything. And then now in Canada, like for me, I found that it's another thing. So, but I'm used to it. It was actually a culture shock when I came over to Canada and saw many Nigerians. Like I went to a school where there were maybe like 3-4 Nigerians in the entire school. So like that's what I went to in Kenya.
In Kenya, okay.
And then when I came to Canada, whoa! I was like, I literally called my mom. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many Nigerians. I'm like this, and Kenyans are like, I don't know about like Kenyans are a little bit more reserved than Nigerians.
Okay.
So it was a culture shock coming in, and like girls are energetic and things. I'm like, whoa! I'm not used to this.
It shocked you.
It shocked me, man.
But in a good way, right?
Yeah, like everything was like, what is going on right now? Like some not in a good way, someone was in a good way. It's the same thing. It's not like I liked the timidity either that was that I saw in Kenya. Like it was just different. But one of the key things, like the active practice of dating, as it like while I'm here, like I can go out and on a date casually because like, hey, my parents are not like, you know, like where are you right now? It's 7 p.m. He's right. You're not home. You're not home. This and this. Like here, I can say I'm going for a dinner.
Yeah.
I'm going out for a dinner with a girl to get to know her better. But back home, my friend, you better do that lunch. If it's not lunch,
honestly,
6 p.m. you're back home.
6 p.m.
And my mom don't play. 6 p.m.
Are you serious?
What's that getting dark?
Honestly, my parents were not too. I don't even think I ever had a curfew because I don't think I went out late that much to start with. So. Yeah, and I think they're also kind of just trusting.
I think
it's not even that it's safety. It's safe. The issue was safety. Like, are you out? Why are you out at night? Here, it's like
fair. No, I understand from the parents' perspective, but I'm even just saying in terms of having to like be home by 7. Actually, so I lived in Lagos, and with the way traffic is, there's very few places that you can go to in like the evening time and be back home that early. That's what I'm even saying. So I think sorry, go ahead, Emeka.
Yeah, but like in that sense, like there's self-imposed curfew because like you said, in Lagos for instance, when it starts getting to night, you start having random police stops and all those type of things. As a guy, you're also conscious that I don't want to be stopped on the road for any reason because you start explaining yourself, like where did you go for, where are you coming from? That's what policeman will be asking you, a grown man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But over here, I mean, anytime I want to go out, I go. As far as I can, I'm not tired, I can drive.
So how did you manage that, like back home? Did you live in Lagos?
Yes, I still in Lagos.
So like, would you only take girls out like during the daytime?
Take girls out, bad boy.
Or no, I didn't mean it's like that. But like, if you were going to
Jesus.
okay, well, let's not unlock that. Let's not open that can of worms. Bad boy for Jesus. Christian Badi. I have an episode on that, by the way. Christian Badi. Can check that out. But like, how did you navigate that? Like, would you be like, sorry, by 6 p.m. you have to eat fast. We have to.
So the thing is that I start the dates early, so I try to go out as early as possible. So obviously during the week is not always possible, so I preferred weekends.
Fair enough.
But during the week, obviously after work, I don't go home and change or anything because
there's no point.
Yeah, so you just go straight from there, get straight to the point, finish your date and head back home. Simple.
True, I can relate to that.
Yeah, and that way you also kind of avoid the rush hour traffic, like especially if you are staying on the mainland and you are walking on the island and you are going back that way.
That's 6 p.m. I mean, like 6 p.m. traffic. Yeah,
it's not like when I go out on the date with the lady, I'm looking at the time. Obviously, we're having fun, but because we went out in good time, like there's more time, there's more flexibility. And if I have to go back home late, so be it. Like, it's fine, but it's not the initial goal, like setting it out to be late. So not that you're starting a date by 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. or something, like you're already going to be out till 12 or something. Because if the date is going well, you're not trying to rush back.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going bad, I mean, you can go home in like an hour or 45 minutes.
Said my mom is waiting for me.
She's calling me.
She's actually really waiting for you. But
God, have you ever had to do that to get out of a date? Like, please ask your friend to like call, like in the movies.
I've never had to escape from a date.
Okay, that's good.
I'm long suffering. So
you're long suffering. Oh my God! So you sit down there till the end?
No, because I'm the kind of person that is it empathy or sympathetic? Empathetic. Like I put myself in people's shoes a lot, and even if it's not going well, I know it's just a matter of a few more minutes, and I'll be out of there.
Yeah, and even as a guy, like you ask the girl for her time, so like. I don't think it would make sense.
It doesn't matter to some people, though. They will tell you it's been good.
Vamos.
It's a lie.
Vamos.
I mean, if they might even at least help you take anyway. I'm talking about abroad, but if the person takes care of the bill for you and leaves, you're even better off. If the person doesn't take care of the bill and just disappears, then you're in trouble.
You don't have to pay for bro. That's a lot. Okay, guys, let's move to the next question I have. So this one is a big one, and this one is like, it's basically about finances. So
two Igbo men here. Two Igbo men. We can talk this one.
Oh my God, I can't.
Bring. I love to talk money.
Could you don't kill me?
Let's go.
Okay, so like I feel like dating back home is kind of different when like the way people view the financial expectations. Like, did you ever feel like there was this pressure to be financially stable and be in your bag before you could even get a girl or be in a relationship? Was that pressure there back home? And like compared to now, do you feel like it's kind of relieved a bit, seeing as a lot of people do 50-50 here, even in their households, people share bills and stuff, as opposed to back home where it's more like the financial responsibility is typically more on the guy?
I think like it's the pressure is always like the same across the board. Like I personally think
Nigerian man at the end of the day.
As a Nigerian man, you're gonna feel it. Like you would say you should want to take care. I personally believe that as a man you should want to take care of the bill. Whether you have the financial capacity at the time to do so is a slightly different question. Whether you hold off on dating until you have that piece in check, that you can balance that thought process out. However, I have seen like situations where like I've gone on dates before, and like if I initiated a date, I'm like 100% paying for that. Like I'll take you out.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Because
yes, honestly, I totally agree. If you're asking a girl for her time, you should take on the responsibility, especially if it's a first date. Okay, you can go ahead. I know Emeka wants to.
No, I agree with mine in general. I believe as a guy, take care of the bill. That's fine. But what you're saying is, if you're the one asking, how many times does a girl ask a guy out? So what you're trying to say is that it's never the case where a lady should take care of the bill, because typically the guy is the one that will do the asking out and initiating.
So what I've seen is sometimes like girl might say, "Oh, we should go here. We should go here. We should go there."
But you will still pay for that date.
Yeah, exactly. You will still pay.
Oh my
You will
God.
still pay. But what I've seen is like, depending on that's what I'm saying. Depending, like some guys would wait until they're like completing their bag before they can eventually start going on dates. There's trade-offs. You know?
What would you would you advise guys to do that? Like, wait.
I would say like it's if you can't take care of something, don't start dating. Because for example, if you're still living hand to mouth, if you're like like anything that comes in, you go on a date. Like it's supposed to. You're trying to even sustain it just to yourself.
Yeah.
Just the basic financial management.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this money comes in, this goes to tithe, this goes to my bill, this goes into my savings, this goes into whatever potential idea you have. I have this amount of money, pool of money available to do whatever. That's how I look at it. I'm like, okay, if I have $500 to do whatever, let's say for an example, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do with the $500? I'm like, okay, I can go on a few dates with that if I choose. Even some dates don't even need to be that expensive. Like I've gone on dates that cost me $6. All I did.
Hey, where did you go?
It's
Please.
simple. So like you just go like, for example, like if in Canada it's easier to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Because you can go downtown,
You can take a walk.
yeah, go get gelato or something, you know, bougie ice cream, but you can go get
But this thing
gelato.
that,
Yeah.
sorry, this
But that's
this outing of dating of like taking a walk or like looking at sunsets. I don't know how many Nigerian ladies appreciate those things. It maybe after a few days.
Let me tell you-
maybe when you guys are already like
Yes.
feeling each other like that. But at the beginning, you want to tell her that let's
take a walk.
No, let me tell you something. Let me
Okay.
can I jump in?
Yes.
All of this depends on this one fact.
What?
She likes you.
When a lady likes you, my
Yes.
brother, she can walk 20 kilometers with you and she wouldn't even realize the time is
I'm
gone.
crying.
Forget
Yeah.
all this.
I'm telling you, once
Fair
a lady
enough.
likes you, a lot of things are
I'm
forgiven.
out to like they'll
Yeah.
say, don't worry. They'll say, oh no, I understand my man is in this financial position. And also, if any babe vexes, like let's say she understands your financial capacity at the time and she vexes that you don't take care of 100% of the bill all the time, check that
That's
a
a
little
red
bit.
flag.
Check
Yeah.
that.
Don't you want it to go and steal? Like, because if you don't have, like, that's
And-
it.
and
No,
that's-
he's
and
saying
she
that if you don't
knows.
have and she's upset that you don't have.
No,
like
that's what I'm
that.
saying. If
Okay.
you don't have and she knows you don't have,
And then
why is she angry? Like, what
And
does she
that's a
expect
red,
you to do?
and that's a red flag.
It's either she doesn't want to be with you because you don't
Don't
have,
have.
which is fine. That's a.
And then you can go. Like
But
it's-
if you've decided to be there, why are you getting angry? Like, what do you want him to do still?
but this
No,
is why
honestly-
this is why it's also important to date within your financial capacity.
Please check me.
Find the spirit.
Honestly, because I was just going to say that a lot of guys bring this situation on themselves. Like you see a girl, and no
I'm
offense,
gonna
you
tell a
can
story after
already
this. Don't worry.
you can already tell that her lifestyle and the kind of things that she does, she's spending money on designer bags, Brazilian weaves. You can tell already that you are not in her tax bracket. Why are you going to talk to her? Why are you asking her to be your girlfriend? Like, there's no way it would, like, I don't think it would
let me
work.
tell you a real example. I'm going to be vulnerable here. I'm going to tell you a real example.
Okay.
I don't know if I should name drop a friend of mine. He's my boy. I don't care. He's my boy. Shout out to my guy Toby. One of my guys, Toby.
Oh my God.
I'm like, so one of the days, one of my guys, Toby, there's some girls he knew, and I like the girl. Like I was like, oh man, this girl looks like, man, like connect the vibe.
Yeah.
Toby called me separately and he told me, Goody, this girl is out of your league financially. He told me this babe was collecting, I think, maybe $4,000 bi-weekly as allowance.
Wow.
Allowance from her, around that, from her
Folks.
From her folks.
Wow.
So, he told me, Goody, I advise you. Once he told me that, I said, I just put myself behind. I said, she'll find somebody that, right now, I'm not on that level.
Yeah.
If you've gotten used to being sent,
And that's okay.
I
It's
said, with all
okay.
due respect,
So the level is money.
no,
No,
for her.
financially,
If that babe has grown up bi-weekly,
Okay.
$4,000 they come into her account.
Imagine her expectations of you as her. Like,
Yeah, if she really likes you, it will still be tough on her. But if she really likes you, you can overcome. But
Yeah.
the first
Yeah,
date,
overcome.
the first date, she will look at you. When are we going to Mykonos? How do you spell Mykonos? Spell it.
I beg, please, don't ask me for our audience. Please.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's why some of that stuff.
What's my business with
from a financial standpoint, like you just have to, like, as a man, you know what you're aiming for, but be very honest. You just say, hey, like, I can't.
Honestly,
this right
because
now. I want to
and you hear the guys complaining of how it's so hard. They have to soak gari, like drink gari, instead of eating it properly because they are trying to buy their babe like a Brazilian wig. And I'm just like, but you know there are girls that will not be asking you these things, but you don't want to approach those girls. No, your eye is choking for the top. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Let's come back to me.
Do you feel like girls are more open here in Canada to taking bills, paying for dates, things like that? Have you found that being the case?
I think it. So with that being the case, I think it depends on to Emeka's point earlier, what type of girl you meet when you're in Canada. People have gone through different things in life. Like I think when I'm in Canada, I've seen. I know I've still seen some women who are like, no, like the men should pay for everything. But I've seen
that are not Nigerian.
That are not Nigerian, although they believe that that's the case. It's all about upbringing. But I've seen others as well that they have no problem spoiling their man. Like I know a guy, his babe for his birthday bought them tickets to Jamaica, things like that. Like or like all this stuff. Like she didn't find the financial burden. She just wanted to do that. I've seen Nigerian women also do that for like if they care and stuff like that. They just say, I wanna let me take care of my man. But you know those things, those memes that you see online of Valentine's Day, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna send my hubby a card saying I love you. But when it's the man for Valentine's Day, this guy will turn this entire whole room into her fantasy or what love looks like. So I think.
But then she'll get her man what?
Singlet
socks, or picture of her. I'm not like.
But like you said, there are Nigerian women that would still spoil their man.
Correct.
Go big.
If I was to jump in here, at the end of the day, I don't feel it's based on location. If a woman truly likes you, and if you've experienced a woman liking you, you will know that even in the little they have, if they have little or much, they will use it to do stuff for you. Do 100%. Things for you. Because I had a lady I was dating back in Nigeria, and she used to live in Yaba. And sometimes I'll come back, I won't be able to stop at her place to say hi or anything. I'll just go home. And sometimes she will buy pizza and come from Yaba to meet me in Lekki. And I was earning more and she wasn't earning as much, but she was still able to do that with the little she had. And she was going through all that effort. And it's something that you notice and you realize, and you're like, this person is making effort in what they can do. So, and even here too, like, you go out and, I've met people here, but you can even find the opposite case here, where a lady will ask you for an Uber fare to come on a date.
Do you know, I think I've heard that before, actually.
And so you would think it would be the reverse case. And those type of things for me as clear signs. If you really want to see me, I'm not buying you an experience or buying you or paying you to come and see me. We want to see each other. Want to have a good time. I don't mind coming. I even prefer to come and pick you up.
I was going to say that, okay.
Tell me to send you an Uber. It's kind of like it's not.
So there was a situation I saw like that where she was like, a girl got asked on a date. You know this TikTok people that just come and share their whole dating experiences. So a guy asked for her time and asked to take her on a date, and he was like, okay, this is the location. They set the location, and then okay, it's time for the date, and she's like, he should send an Uber, and the guy said he's not going to do that. So she didn't. So the date was cancelled. She didn't go for the date. So she was basically just ranting and saying like, why would he do that? Why wouldn't he, just pay for the Uber?
Is the thing about expectations, like people have.
But in that situation, what would you do as the guy? Like if a girl says, send me the Uber money or call the Uber for me, then I'll come and meet you. Yeah, first date.
So like there's there's
like it's the night of the day too.
Like
okay, sorry. Before you go on, did I offer to pick you up or not? In this case scenario they were painting.
Okay, maybe he didn't. I don't think he. Or let's say he didn't offer. Let's say you did.
Okay, that changes it a bit for me because if I offer to pick you up and you're like, I should send you an Uber instead. I mean, I know people.
Okay, what if it's not convenient for you to pick her up? So it's either she gets an Uber to come and meet you, or you send an Uber.
It's an interesting one because I know the one is of like sending them after the date. Oh, I'm gonna make sure you get home safe. So send an Uber back.
Okay.
And things like
If
that.
I'm sending you off in an Uber after a date, it didn't go well.
Okay, you typically take her home.
I prefer to drop you off at home because I want to extend the conversation time. I want to spend more time with you.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
Now the only thing is if like maybe for
you don't drive. If a guy doesn't drive,
of me or something, which is also another thing.
Yes,
If you don't trust
yeah.
me.
You
shouldn't be going out at all. But if you don't even trust me enough to know your house address,
but if it's a very first date, it's possible.
Very first
I would
date,
rather take
I will not encroach. I don't want to know where you live. I don't know
if you don't trust me, if you don't trust me like that,
actually, I take back what I said.
If you don't trust me like that, you want to take an Uber and come down yourself, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you tell me that, it's telling me that you don't trust me. And I'm like, have we not put in the groundwork for us to even be going out in the first place? But anyway.
No, there's oh my God, there's a balance now because for that situation you brought out there, it's like, oh, if the girl says, won't you order me an Uber? Immediately the next thing is, okay, I'm not going to know your address. I'm not going to know where to, if she asks that, she better like this person because guys, some men are crazy.
That is not safe. Yeah.
Some men are crazy. She asked that question. Like, I would think that depending on how well they've got to know each other before that first date.
Yeah, security reasons.
Yeah.
I consent. But what I'm saying is like, if it's security reasons and that means you feel like you don't know me enough, and like it depends on where you met someone. Like if you met someone on a dating app.
Definitely do not.
I mean, if
give your address.
If
don't
we go
give your
to
address,
a similar place, like maybe we go to the same church, we see every Sunday, we've been talking for a while, like as friends, and then I want to pick you up and you don't trust me enough, then maybe we haven't spoken enough for you to
I say it's okay.
feel comfortable
we'll do this date later.
Yeah, but if like it's from
you
a
wouldn't
dating app
date
kind
again.
of thing. No. But if it's a dating app kind of thing, if you don't trust me, like get your own Uber and come down.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, honestly, I would not ask someone to pay for my Uber. I would just call it and meet them there. Like there's no. Anyways,
it's kind of like
I'm happy on the same
it's kind
page.
of like you tell me I don't trust you, but I still need you to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't, like I've offered to pick you up, you don't trust me. That's fine. Come down. Let's get to know each other better. Maybe you'll trust me after that, and then maybe I can even drop you off at home. But if you don't want that, that's fine. But why you? Outsourcing your lack of trust to me to pay for.
Yeah. Oh, that was very deep. Yeah. Basically, in summary, like what you said. So my next question. So do you feel like I want to be very careful with I'm asking this. Do you feel like you are less likely to meet your spec now that you've moved to a foreign country? As opposed to when like you were in Nigeria, because like in Nigeria everybody's black, like literally everybody looks like you and probably grew up with similar values. So do you feel like it's easier to find your spec like back home as opposed to here?
Let me jump into this one right there. So it's like depending on okay, I'm going to take away the Kenyan context. I'm just going to think Nigerian here. So if the expectations are, you want, like I'm Igbo.
Okay.
If I want to go marry an Igbo girl, the likelihood of meeting her in Kenya was very low. Okay? Very low. It's a very low.
Fair enough.
And unless like your family, friends, or whatever that live there as well. So that part is out of the equation. Now when it comes to if you are stuck on that stuff, like personally, like I would say I've never been stuck on I want a girl from my tribe exactly. But like I know like traditionally parents love that stuff. You know, where parents were like, what village? So they can do research. It's also important because they ask those things to be like, okay, similar values, or if they know things about that specific village,
they feel more comfortable.
They're like, okay, we know the way those people typically behave. We know. Is this girl gonna behave like her people? Are you gonna like the girl can say, is this guy going to behave like guys from that place? So I think within like coming here, if that's your spec, like what it's good if you want to do that. Find this exact same tribe and everything. It's going to be harder.
Yeah.
You're now going to have to intentionally put yourself in communities where that is possible. So, for example, if you're looking for in Canada, if you're looking for the bone of your bone, you know,
Preach.
and then you want the bone of your bone to speak Yoruba. You want the bone of your bone to speak Igbo. You want the bone of your bone to at least, you know.
Yeah, if you're taking it a level high, as in.
Yeah, if you want it to
them
be
to really be authentic,
really be that, you better immerse yourself in the Nigerian culture somehow, some way. Otherwise, the likelihood of you stumbling on that. Like, think about it. When you go to school,
do you mean like Nigerian community?
Yeah, community.
Okay.
It's just like people around you that are Nigerian, and because you're more likely going to meet more people like that. So whatever, if that's your spec. But like, so think about it this way: when you go to school, let's say you have so many people around you in that pool, you know, that you could assess and everything, or different backgrounds, whatever. You make you guys graduate. That pool gets a lot smaller. You know, it's either you're meeting a person in your office or in your church.
True.
Or you're not meeting people every day now that you can be that way. So you have to figure out, if this is what I'm looking for, I need to go to intentionally to places like this. Like, one thing my mom told me, like, immediately I graduated university, she was like, okay, you know, typical Nigerian parents, don't do anything, don't talk to anybody while you're at university. Make you graduate. Everybody is saying, I have this one person in UK, I have this one person. Do you want to talk to them? But what she told me is intentionally, she was like, now, the more as you go to some of these church programs and things like that, like, immerse yourself in home fellowship groups, immerse yourself in church Christian concerts. At least when you meet people there, you'll know at least you have something in common versus just blindly meeting them. And then now, if you now want to dive into like the country they're from, you now go deeper and deeper to find it. It's going to be a lot harder than just saying, hey, like, whoever meets this moral character, these values, I'm gonna pick that.
I really like what you said, especially about like going into spaces to meet the kind of person you want to. For example, if you're a Christian, going into, like you said, churches, going to groups where like there are fellowships and other believers are, because you cannot just like be going on the streets and hoping you bump into a spirit-filled man or woman.
Babylon. You're joking.
As in, so like 100%, I agree.
Meet Delilah.
Oh my God.
And Jezebel.
Hey, Jesus. I'm not there, please. If you want to drag anybody, please drag him. But Emeka, what do you have to say?
What I would say on this topic is basically like to summarize what you said. And I'm looking at it from a logical / mathematical standpoint of view. The odds are lower here based on numbers alone.
Yeah.
In Nigeria,
I agree.
And when I say that, it's also because for me, I'm looking for someone with the same cultural background. So it almost eliminates 90% of the population here.
Sorry, just to clarify, when you say cultural background, do you mean like you're looking for Nigerian or somebody from your tribe?
Not from my tribe. I'm not. Okay. Because first of all, I don't care about tribe like that.
Okay, that's good.
But even if I wanted to, that's almost eliminating another 90, 50%, 70% of the Nigerian. You will now be looking for like 1 in a million. So it's not even logical to do that.
Yeah.
So
where's the village?
You go tired. Anyway, but yeah, so just based on that point of view alone, or that standpoint, like you already have very limited options. Yeah, a smaller pool. And then you still have to vet for your
other things,
so,
other values.
Yeah, so it's way smaller. In Nigeria, you can just walk into, what would I call it? What's the name of this place that we used to order?
Domino's Pizza. We have Domino's.
The place.
Oh, the place. Yeah, the place.
You can just walk into the place and see your spec sitting there eating, struggling with chicken and somewhere.
Don't kill me.
So your spec can be littered everywhere, but here you have to be very intentional about it. Take time, plan, and say, I need to go for events. I mean, in Nigeria, you have to go for events because you won't meet people in your house anyway, but you
can still on your day-to-day.
You can still stumble on your day-to-day, but here you have to plan more. You try to even include tools like dating apps to try and help out. But even in the dating app, you won't see, before you see Nigeria, you first have to filter. You go filter.
What's it called? Like you have to first like swipe left. How many times?
And even if you add that part, let's even add another complexity, and I'm just going to throw this one out there. after all of this, you then now have genotype issue.
God.
So
genotype will stain your white. It will show you shege. In this Canada especially.
Because it reduces the pool even more.
Anyway. So at this point, I'm sure the viewers already assume or know that I'm AS from my reaction. But you meet so many nice people, you start speaking to someone, and then
just
obviously because you're AS, you know you must ask that
question.
Once you just ask and they say, if I was to ask them to, they will start laughing because they know the only reason why you be asking this question is because you're AS.
Yeah, AS.
Because AA people that are too proud, they don't used to ask that question.
They don't need
because
to.
what's their business? Whatever you are, they are okay with it like that. So
no, it's definitely tough, and I would say definitely take it as a sign to check your genotype. Like if you don't know it already, like don't just go by what maybe your folks have said or what you feel it might be. Go and check, because it's honestly a very serious issue. Raising children that are sickle cell, like it's a lot, and it's not something that you want to put yourself or anybody through because of love, and that brings me to my other point of the fact that, do you know that if you end up with a white person, you don't have that issue of genotype?
Oh yeah. So
are you open to dating other races then?
Well, I was even going to talk about why they don't have that issue.
Okay. Yeah, give us more details on why they don't have that issue of genotype.
Yeah. So sickle cell is, let me not say sickle cell, but the sickle cell, the S part of it's kind of like a mutation, and it happens in places where malaria is prevalent. Yeah.
Okay, that's why it's predominant in black people.
Yes. So what happens is that if you notice, they say people that have AS tend to have severe symptoms when they have malaria compared to people that are AA.
Yes.
Because the malaria virus, bacteria, parasites, cannot grow fully inside the cell or something like that. So because of the nature of how the cell is. So it was an adaptation to help you survive more. So you can look at it from that standpoint and be happy. But unfortunately it has the side effect of SS being a possibility through reproduction and everything. But so what was the question again?
I was just saying, are you open to dating other races, seeing that if you date a white person, for example, you don't have that issue of genotype?
That's a very good question. I would like to say yes.
I like the honesty.
No, I really would, because typically I don't mind. The problem is, like I said, I want someone that has similar experiences to me. I want to be able to make some jokes and immediately, someone can adapt and get used to that, but it will be a long process. But you would like to meet someone that already has that feeling, that idea of what you're talking about, what you've been through. If I say T-Pain now, I don't want them to be thinking about the musician. They should be thinking about the Nigerian economy and what Tinubu is putting people through. So all those type of things, I can't make that joke with a white person that I meet randomly, or I can't say something like that. And just different things, some expectations.
Yeah, fair enough. Goody, are you open to dating it's like someone from a different race? Or
man, I like.
You don't mind?
Growing up the way I grew up, I was already the outsider. So I'm like, okay, cool. So like I learned Swahili just so I could fit in. Like that's why I actually don't know Igbo as well now, because my parents made a conscious decision at that time. Kind of regret it now. They're like, hey, Nigerians really don't have a good rep in Kenya like that. We don't want this kid to struggle in school, so let's not have him learning 3 languages at once. Let's focus on 2. So I'm easily able to assimilate with people from East Africa. I'm easily able to assimilate, at least now, from like with Pidgin English as well. Now people from the West, but I don't know what's it called, like Igbo. When I go to the village, like I
okay, so you've been to your village?
Oh yeah, Igbo. Okay. I'm still very much
that's good.
I didn't grow up with it. But like Nige, masquerades, all that stuff. We've dealt with all that stuff.
To be fair, when I'm saying culturally, I don't even mean that deep.
No, you're meaning like
it's more of a surface level Nigerian culture than to the deep level of tribal culture.
Okay.
So why I wanted to talk about that is because in Kenya you can meet people who are white, Ethiopian, everything, and Nigerian, whatever, and you will have a similar cultural thing because Kenya is a very big on tourism. So a lot of Westerners and people settle there. So I've grown up. It was okay to see Chinese. Like it's normal. It's kind of normal. So you're like you see a lot of mixed race couples in Kenya. Like so when I came here, I'm like, oh, it felt weird though. It felt a little bit weird when I came over to this side. I remember I'm like, what is that Nigerian man who grew up in Nigeria? This is my bias at the time. You grew up in Nigeria. I don't know if you met a lot of white girls when you're in Nigeria, but then you're now dating, not because you're dating a white girl. I don't know whether I have no problem with that. I just always want to understand the thought process because in Kenya, that was normal to see that because of the fact that you see a lot of those people around. So you have similar, like, if I make a joke about something Kenyan related to a white person who grew up in Kenya, they get it. They get it. But the same thing now when you come over here, you can meet people like I remember when people in university were surprised that were like East African. They were surprised I could speak Swahili. Like even as recent as this summer, I went to Miami and there was Kenyan guys there, and I blew their mind. They were like, "This is the first time we've heard someone speaking Swahili in a Nigerian accent." Like everybody was confused. Like, where are you from? They're like, where are you going? I'm I could talk to everybody. It's like that's what I'm saying. I was kind of fluid with it. But I see some constraints whereby some people might want like that similar. There's some things that I need to be able to laugh with you and have say some stuff and you're like, okay, this guy's not out of pocket because like some of the jokes that Africans tell, like it can be out. In Westernized context, it can be out of pocket because sometimes I'm in the office and these guys are telling jokes like, and I'm like, that's not funny. So I'm like, and then
fair enough.
Yeah, and then some people from the office not see me like in my more calm down state, and then they're like, "Have you guys met Goody? And he's so funny." And I'm like, "You guys have no idea." Well,
this is just like
this is still,
nothing.
This is still politically correct.
Okay, so on to our final question. I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my question for you is, are you open to long distance relationships? I feel like they kind of have a bit of a bad rep just because you are not in the same space with the person. You don't have constant access with them, especially if they're like back home in, for example, Nigeria. The time difference is crazy. It's 6 hours. So when they're trying to sleep is when you're awake, and it's just a lot of things to navigate. So are you open to still doing that, seeing as you're more likely to meet your person in Nigeria? So are you open to doing that, and have you done it before, and like what was your experience?
I'd like to go first on this.
Okay.
My simple answer is no.
Okay.
I don't like long distance relationships, and you've mentioned some of the reasons why already. Relationships are already difficult and complicated.
True.
Communication, good communication takes effort and is difficult. Adding in time difference and all of that into it is not easy. Like when I first relocated to Canada, keeping in touch with people that I cared about back home was so difficult because time, I started working, you finish work by 5, 6, whenever I finish it. During winter months, it's 6 hours difference. It's already like 11, 12.
Yeah.
And then like things were just clashing. I was getting phone calls like around 5 a.m. or something in the morning. And I'm like,
God.
Who is this person that's going by 5 a.m.? But obviously for them it's their time. And they try to understand, but because like you guys are missing each other's calls and they just return it so that they register. So it gets frustrating. And eventually you start meeting people in your immediate environment that you start becoming closer to. And with time, not intentionally, unintentionally basically, you start making new friends here.
100%, yeah.
Before you know it, you start replacing those friends, and it's not like they are not your friends anymore, but the people that, I'm going through this, or I need this, or I need to talk to someone about this. You think about calling your friend back in Nigeria, they are sleeping, they can't pick up by this time. But someone here can pick up, you call that person, and that's on a friendship level. Talk less of on a relationship level. So you start dating someone back in Nigeria, you can't see the person physically. For instance, now I'm the type of person in relationships. I've always, in fact, not just relationships. I don't like text messages because I feel like they don't convey emotion. There's no facial expression. I try to.
I can easily misunderstand.
Yes, so it leaves room for misunderstanding. I'm the type of person I like using emojis because I like trying to show that I'm saying this
in a
tongue in cheek with a smile on my face or something. Don't take this too hard. But then all those type of things, when you do it in person, or I mean, you can do video calls, but like I said, I explained the time difference thing. If there's a misunderstanding, or if someone I care about is having a rough day, I want to be able to just say, you know what, I'm taking an hour drive to go and meet this person right now. Let me take you out. Let's go get ice cream or something.
Yeah.
But if you're in Lagos,
thousands of miles, 5,000 miles.
In fact, forget Lagos. If you're in London, Ontario, here. I mean, technically, I can still vex and do that too. But if you're in Alberta, let's say Alberta, I can't wake up and say I'm driving to Alberta.
Do you know how many hours difference it is? Alberta is
2 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, but driving there will be over.
Okay, true.
12, 18 hours. I'm not sure about the exact time. Otherwise, like 4 hours. So imagine Alberta will be almost a day plus drive, if not
to get to the person.
So. I mean,
so even long distance within Canada is another.
I can speak to that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So long distance is difficult. I would say there's 3 questions that you kind of need to think about if you do long distance. First is like, were you people dating before you now moved or somebody relocated? Answer that part first. And say, okay, how can we make things work? It's going to be difficult, but you can see how to make things work. Second, is there a timeline of, are you guys ever going to be back together again? What does that timeline
What's the plan
like?
for?
Yeah, like are you going to be just here for school, moving back, or she answer those questions. Then it gives you hope that you're working towards something that I just have to persevere for 2 years and then pray that immigration has no issues and things just come through.
Yeah.
So those are the two first ones, fundamental ones. But then now the third part, if you actually find yourself now in one way you're trying to get to know somebody long distance, like you maybe met you're on vacation. Let's say you're on a vacation, you met the person there.
For December.
Correct.
December.
We did do a boot camp in this size, guys. Come on. Metamorphosis. So let's say you met the person. That's a perfect example. You actually meet somebody at a boot camp. Then before they go to the same church as you, just in a different location, different branch, in a different place.
That would be so sad.
And then you'd be like, I really vibe with this person, this and this. I just don't have UK visa. I don't have American visa. But you're like, okay, let's see how we can make this work. Maybe the person actually now lives in Lagos. You're like, okay, what are their plans? But why I'm saying that is because like I've been in a long distance relationship within Canada and was like Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
But that's still time difference within Ontario. That's 3 hours.
3 hours. That's not bad.
Did you guys know each other? Like, were you guys?
We spent first time in Vancouver, and I lived in Vancouver.
Oh, so
so you had already built a relationship then. Okay.
And then now we kind of, but it was still kind of tough. Like to your point, like somebody's having a tough day. The best you can do is call, try to be there on Facebook, send some food, or maybe send some flowers. You can still put in effort, but it's like, I literally can't do nothing.
Yeah, I can't physically be there for you. I can be there for you virtually, but not physically. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, especially if you're working. If you're working and like you don't have your own business where you can take your own hours off and this whatever, you now start thinking about how many vacation days do I have. Like all those things, like okay, if I want to travel, what's the best time to travel, or should we meet in the middle? Let's say where do you want to go? But then now, if you're dating like as a Christian couple, you can't. If you want to meet in the middle, you better be having other friends who are coming with you because you guys are not staying in the same hotel room. So it's like all these. It's expensive. I will actually tell. I will actually tell people this for a fact. People think long distance is a way of saving money. I kid you not, long distance is more expensive because when you meet the person and you spend time together,
flights, like
that flight alone would have covered like how many
days?
Like
a flight and then all the activities, all the stuff that you do to just get. Oh my god. So I've seen some people make it work, but they plan. They need to have be committed to have a plan. This is short. Like we're gonna talk at this time. This is what maybe
over communicate. You have to communicate. Like, okay, I'm driving now. I'm doing this now because the person is not there with
Yeah.
you. So you need to tell them constantly what you are doing, where you are. You can't just leave them and leave their
Correct.
assumptions to just.
Maybe sacrifice your lunchtime. I work. You say,
Yeah.
I no go eat lunch. Lunch is not that important. I eat at 5
So
p.m.
discipline, accountability,
Yeah.
all those
Communication.
type of things. Communication. So you guys
Sacrifice.
you guys
you probably have to sacrifice a lot of sleep.
you guys have to be like in proper agreement.
Yeah.
Like,
And there needs to be a plan. When is this ending? IIP.
People go to a new country and it's very lonely, and they start talking and meeting new friends.
God.
No, I'm being realistic. They start talking to people, they make new friends, and then they start liking somebody else
Who's emotionally available for them and present.
I mean, when they've had a long day, Sandra is calling them, they are sleeping. Sandra is hearing about their problems every day
and telling them sorry.
By the time they've exhausted their problems with Sandra, by the time you call in the morning,
they're like, I'm fine.
He's already feeling better. Sandra is already.
God, I beg.
So, any Sandra watching, I'm really sorry for using
the name, but
please.
And
the person is not doing it intentionally to snatch your man, and your man is probably not doing it intentionally
but
to snatch.
building feelings.
Yeah, like you're talking to your friends, and obviously, so if you're someone that's in a long distance relationship, you have to intentionally set those boundaries, because if you don't, you will find yourself
100%.
Before you know it, you have gone.
Yeah, honestly, and I'll just say, like, communicate, over communicate, especially if things like that, like what Emeka just described, are happening. Like, just be honest. Don't just ghost or just start acting up, and then the person will start thinking maybe they are the problem. Just be honest about where you're at. If you didn't date, it did not work. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this conversation. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop a comment. Let me know your favorite parts of this episode, and help me thank my amazing guests for coming on. And also make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button. And I'll see you in our next one. Bye.
Bye.